Hi everyone, so today I want to talk about going up the steps with the one-to-one diet. Now, a lot of people feel quite nervous about this because you start off on meal replacement with step 1, which is full meal replacement. You get given all your products that you need, and then as time goes on you step up. So step 2 quite often is for step 2 is 3 products then plus a 200 calorie meal. So if you start on step 1A, you're on 3 products, then you add a 200 calorie meal. Now this can be quite scary because you feel like you're going to gain weight or that you're losing control. But for me, I just 100% trusted this process. And for the first time in my life, I didn't pin everything on the scales. So I looked at the scales always over 4 weeks. I did everything 100% on plan so that I knew that if them scales didn't show me what I wanted, it wasn't that it wasn't working, it was simply that my body hadn't caught up. And because I trusted this plan implicitly, it meant that I could go up the steps and relax into it and know that if I stayed the same the following week, that the next week I'd lose weight. Or even if I had one time I stepped, because there's 6 steps, I stepped up and I had a half a pound gain. Now in years gone by, I'd have absolutely panicked about this, thinking I was going to gain loads of weight back, but because I trusted the process, I just saw it as a fake gain. It's just simply my body readjusting, probably hanging on to water, and that the week after it would go. So I just relaxed into the process. And the thing is, if you're doing it 100% and sticking to it, you have nothing to worry about. If you're cheating here and there, then unfortunately when you step on the scales and you see that half a pound gain, you don't actually know if it's a fake gain or whether it's actually that cheeky kebab you had on Saturday night that you shouldn't have had. So it's, for me, because I did the plan 100%, I knew that whatever them scales said wasn't real, and that collectively over 3 months I would lose about 3 stone. And as you may or may not know, I lost 3 stone in 13 weeks. I'm now at 4 stone, and I'm at goal, and I've stepped up. And then my biggest bit of advice: you will get to your goal weight lower down the steps probably, and you will feel amazing, you will feel in control, you will feel like you can take on the world. And in that moment you might think, do you know what, I don't need to do the steps, I can save a bit of money, I can do it on my own. Don't do it. Stay with your consultant and go through the steps, because the thing is, as much as you've reprogrammed yourself to lose weight and break all these associations, when you get to the higher steps and you get to maintenance, there's a whole heap of other things that you have to break, because all the old habits start creeping in when you've got choices. It kind of triggers old behavioural patterns. It's really quite interesting. And if you think you can do it on your own without doing the steps, you're missing out a massive part of your development, because this diet for me hasn't just been about weight, it's been about my mind. And I've seen the whole thing that it's either developing my mind or developing my body, and quite often doing both at the same time. So by going through the steps, you have to understand that step 6, when you get to step 6, it gets you to a place of balance and stability within your mind and your body. If you finish and get to your goal weight is just your physical goal. It's not the end goal. The end goal for me was to get to step 6 and then to find balance. And when I got to my goal weight, everyone were like, oh, you can have a drink now, you can do this. And I didn't. I waited until I got to step 6, until I'd found complete and utter stability within my new self, before I start even introducing these old triggers to myself, because I wanted to make sure that I was completely secure in my new associations with food and drink before I started introducing them. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do that until I'd got to like a level footing with the weight that I'd got, and I knew I could maintain it, and I knew what I could and couldn't do. So for me, it's not right for everyone, but for me, I stuck to it wholeheartedly and saw this as my goal was to get to step 6 with, my weight got there way before then. But then I got to step 6, and it was about my 3rd week after step 6, my 3rd week after that, I felt like I had complete and utter stability, and that I knew where I was, I knew what calories I needed to maintain, therefore I knew what I needed. If I had a bit of an event or something, I could go and have whatever I wanted, but I'd also know how to compensate for for that in the week, and I knew exactly where I stood. So for me, it was massively important, and for everyone, it's massively important to trust the process, stick to it. You know, the scales, it's not real. I've had times in my journey where I've lost a pound for 2 weeks running. Now, I'd have been fuming about that if I'd have been looking at them isolated weeks, but I didn't. I looked at it over 4 weeks, and do you know what? I lost 12 to 14 pounds every month. I'll take a pound loss if I'm going to lose 14 in a month. 1 week I stayed the same, and how can you deserve that when you're on a low calorie diet? You don't deserve it, but the scales aren't real. And I knew that, and I'd had a word with myself and told me that straight from the start. So that is where my head was. And then when I was going up through the steps, I didn't really have a wobble, because I thought, you know what, any small gain that I get is just my body readjusting. That's all it is. And the week after, I completely trusted that it would come off, and it did. I continued to lose weight through the steps, and then when I got to step 5, 6, I'm maintaining. So just make sure you go through the steps. Make sure you see this as a journey to develop your mind as much as it is to develop your body, because the thing is, it's your mind that'll allow you to stay in that body once you get it. If you don't deal with your mind and you just deal with your body is just a symptom of your mind. So if you do not deal with your mind along this journey, you will get the body that you want. You probably won't feel, I've got to goal before now and not felt it was like an anticlimax, because I still had the same mind. I still viewed myself in the same way, whereas this time I've dealt with my mind as well as my body. So my mind has caught up to my body all the way along. So I've got to goal weight, and it was I was elated. So always look at this, that you are dealing with your mind as much as you are dealing with your body. And when them scales don't show you what you want, that's the time you have a massive opportunity to develop your mind, because you need to be patient, you need to be disciplined, you need to tweak your associations with those scales, because they do not dictate your worth. So give it a go. Make sure you do the steps. Have faith in the plan, because I promise you it works. It has absolutely and utterly changed my life, and it's because I dealt with myself holistically and saw every opportunity in this plan. Because the beauty of this plan, which you think is a bad thing, it takes everything away, which you think is a massive sacrifice, and it is at first. But when you take everything away, you get the opportunity to see how great your life can be without those things, so you don't need them in the same way. So just trust the process, and honestly, I would recommend this diet to absolutely anyone, because it will change your life if you give it everything you've got. So good luck. Let me know how you get on. See you later.